Okay, and then for number 8, you can't do anything to A minus B or C plus D. The top is squares, difference of 2 squares, so that's going to be C plus D, C minus D. And those are squares just like this was right here. And then over, and then this is B minus A, but I can tell that I want it to cancel with the A minus B, so I'm going to do that -1 trick and flip it. And then, let's do green. I'm going to cancel the C plus D's and the A minus B. Okay, now we're going to be real careful about how we write this answer. I have this -1 on the bottom, and I have this C minus D. Here's what you can't do. I am going to kick the -1 up to the top. You cannot do this. You can't just put the negative in front of 2 terms. Now what you can do is that. So it's a -1 and a C minus D. And as long as you put the -1 out front and the C minus D in parentheses, you're totally fine. Obviously, you can also run that negative through if you wanted to, and then even if you wanted to do more, you could flip it around so that the positive thing is in the front. So if you ever see multiple choice and you have this, multiple choice could be that. So you just have to be flexible. I'm fine with any of these 3 answers. But again, if it's multiple choice or however is going to benefit the problem the most, you just need to be able to be flexible. All right, and then let's look at number 9. I'm going to erase this so I have more room. Okay, so look at number 9. I've got this guy. I'm just going to put him over 1. I've got trinomials all the way around. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses, factors of 12 that add to give me an 8. That's going to be 6 and 2. I want a -8. So -6 and a -2, and that multiply still gives me a positive 12. And then on the bottom, I need the factors of 24 that subtract to give me a 2. That's going to be 4 and 6. I want a -2, so I want a -6 and a positive 4. And then for the top, I need the factors of 4 that subtract to give me 3. That's going to be 4 and 1. I want a positive 3. And then that's over 1. And then I'm going to come in here and cancel. That's the fun part. So it looks like all you're left with is x minus 2 times x minus 1, which is a perfectly fine answer. But just remember again, if it was multiple choice or if it were to benefit the problem, you could multiply that back out. X squared minus 3x plus 2. That could also be your answer. So at this level, we're not just looking for an answer that matches exactly your answer, but it's understanding different equivalent forms of the same answer. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of these division problems. I'm going to do one just to make sure that you understand the concept of division with fractions. Some people call it same, change, flip. Some people call it keep, flip, change, which is also known as KFC. I'm not a big fan of KFC. I like Bojangles better. So I will forever call it Bojangles. So when I say Bojangles, that means keep, flip, change, or same, change, flip. So here's what I'm referring to. Keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. And then you just factor and cancel like we've been doing for the first 9 problems. So again, I'm not going to continue here, but just making sure that you understand the keep, flip, change, or KFC. But again, what I'm going to call it is Bojangles. I want to look at number 13 because it's written, okay, now you're going to find I have weird names for things. but it helps me remember them. So number 13, I'm going to call this a wedding cake because it has 4 different layers. And to me, that looks like a really pretty wedding cake. So when you have a wedding cake, you want to Bojangles. So I'm going to change the division to multiplication, and then I'm going to take this guy and flip him and move him up to the top. So I'm taking this wedding cake. I didn't mean to do that. And I am gonna take it to Bojangles. There we go. But I'm gonna factor as I go. So the x cubed plus 8, those are cubes. So I'm gonna do short and long and soap. So this is another great example for cubes. I've got x. 8 is a cube because it's 2 times 2 times 2. And then again, remember this spot is always this guy squared. This spot is always this guy squared. This spot are these two multiplied together. And then I'm gonna do the soap. So same as the original problem, opposite the original problem, always positive. Okay. And on the bottom of the top, I'm gonna just GCF an X out. Okay, so that was the keep part. So now I'm gonna change. So I'm changing this division to multiplication. Now I'm gonna do the flip part. So I'm taking this guy right here and I'm gonna flip him. So like literally the denominator is gonna become the numerator. And I'm gonna factor him as I go. So the bottom is just gonna be the x plus 2 cubed. Oops. There we go. And that just means that's x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 2. In no way, shape, or form do I want to multiply that out. I want things in their factored form, so I'm just understanding that I have 3 of them. Then the bottom, which is going to become the top, is a trinomial. I want the factors of 4 that add to give me 4, and that's going to be 2 and 2. Okay, so I have Bojangles. I have taken this beautiful wedding cake and I have gone to Bojangles and I have same change flipped it, and now I'm ready to cancel. Now I have an x plus 2 here and 1 here and 1 here, and I have 3 here, so they will all cancel. And that's it. That's all I got. Remember, the back end of a cube never keeps going. So I have x squared minus 2x plus 4 over x times x minus 2. And remember, the bottom you could distribute. There's no reason to do that. But again, just remember at this stage we're looking at equivalent forms. So if you have this, but I have this in my answers, I need you to be super comfortable with the fact that they are the same thing. So I hope this was a great review. And again, remember to feel free to rewind and watch it again. Hit me up with any questions that you may have. Feel free to work on the ones that we didn't do, and let me know if you have any questions.